Welcome to PCAT Critiques You, Episode 0. So, this is a character design by Yodogama. He is an artist and adventurer from the world of demons that escapes to the world of humans, but is also unfortunately shunned by them and avoids making friends. The setting is sci-fi and futuristic. Yodogama thinks the design looks too bland, but doesn't want to clutter it too much either. Honestly, I think this is already a very cool design. I love the color scheme, and I think it's already really appealing, but let's see what else we can do to improve on it. So the first thing I'm going to address is a little bit of perspective issues right now. So I can see you've kind of tried a top-down perspective, but it's not quite working. So let's see if we can do something about that, okay? So the thing with perspective is that you probably want to kind of keep in mind the vanishing points a little bit. So if you don't have that, your character will probably fail to look like it's in perspective. Unless his waist is very, very wide, you probably want to bring it in a little bit because he'll kind of converge downwards because perspective will make his body look smaller as it goes down if we're viewing it from above. Drawing a little kind of like X mark below the character's feet will help them stay grounded. So be careful with this arm over here because it kind of looks like it's extending a little bit too far back. If you kind of hold your arm straight out like that and kind of pull it backwards, keeping your arm straight is actually really uncomfortable. So I'm going to bend the arm a little bit here. Don't forget that this thing also has to follow perspective. Everything follows perspective. So if we kind of draw kind of a box like this around the thing and kind of make it go down, this should definitely be rounder, if you see what I mean, right? You want the hood to kind of make this sort of like curved shape because you're viewing it from above. The head and the face look amazing. Not gonna touch that. I would roughly adjust the proportions into something that looks more like this for the moment. It's a very rough PO, but like hopefully you can tell what I'm going for here. So now let's talk about the design. Overall, so you want to add more detail. It feels bland to you, right? Overall, I honestly feel like this is a pretty good design. Because I feel like you've added a lot of detail here, but stuff like this sort of stuff on the hood here and these marks over here, they don't feel very deliberate. They don't feel like they're there for a reason other than to like, maybe this will look cool or maybe that will look cool. I do like the demonic elements. So I feel like first things first, let's improve upon the construction of this shirt over here. The hood screws for attaching the arrow part of the hood. Okay, got it. Okay, let's say maybe this hood screw now, it also attaches this part down. It's a cool element I noticed right away. If you can think of a good reason for him, let's use it. So I'm gonna add a little bit more detail around this guy as well, around the hood, the rim here, just to match the rim on top. Let's add the hood strings look like they're just coming out of a hole. Let's give it something to come out of, maybe. You have these kind of shoulder pad construction here, but I can see here, like, usually when you have a hoodie here, there should be a seam of some kind, right? And this is a very special hoodie, and I don't see that in your outfit. Okay, this is just personal preference, but the way it looks like a hoodie of some kind, the way it kind of hugs the arm a little bit too much, but there's also a fold here. And to me, this doesn't make a whole lot of sense, as in like, if it's a tight piece of clothing, it should hug the entire body, but it doesn't exactly seem to be doing that. It seems a little bit looser on the front here. So I would also like the sleeves to be loose to match the front. You want to find some inspiration, you can always look at some cool futuristic hoodie. Literally look up futuristic hoodie and let's see what you get. I bet you can find some cool inspirations, right? Tech wear hoodies. Oh wow, that's pretty neat. You know what? I'm just gonna steal that. So if this is meant to be like a strap, like a strap that he just kind of tied on, let's kind of think about how this actually works. I would probably draw some kind of knot here, because usually you see buckles or something, some way that you can actually keep it together. It's probably tied on somehow, right? So let's express that. As you correctly deduced, we have added a lot of detail to the top. So we're not gonna do as much on the bottom. Like I said, gotta keep those areas of rest. So I'm not gonna do too much. This part kind of bugs me because I cannot tell how this is attached. You either want to put in a seam like this, you know, if you where you can sew in the thing, but I don't think this bag has a seam. So you're gonna think of some other way it attaches. You could also add a patch here where it's attached. That's a possibility. Just a preference, but I would love for this to have like a cool shape. You know, if there was like a big brush sticking out, that would very much imply that he was an artist. I really like the idea of the clawed feet, but is him being barefoot part of his character? If it is, I won't touch it, but I'd love to give him some kind of sandals. Because if he's traveling around, well, maybe demon feet don't need sandals. I don't know your story, perhaps. The claws are cool, but like I feel like they're a little bit large and unwieldy, so I'm just gonna keep it so that only the toe claw is big and the rest aren't too huge, just for, you know, slight realism's sake. All right. As for sandals, you know, doesn't need anything too fancy. I'll just give him the same sandals as my VTuber, all right? I'm not even joking. As for the tail, I know you have it thin right now, but I would love to have a teensy bit more volume, because right now it looks a little frail. I want it to look like an actual tail. There you go. That is my critique. It ended up taking a lot longer than I expected, but it was a cool design, so I wanted to play with it. And that's all for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. You can check my stream at twitch.tv/pcat if you want to critique as well. If you enjoyed the video, please consider critiquing the subscribe button. See you next time. Bye-bye. So let's bring a seam in as well. Keep the seam in. No. What the heck, you guys? Come on. Can't I just talk about clothing?